tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Time of the day is it's almost evening. Happy almost evening day to you. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm gonna have a V8 while we're doing this. Welcome. Good to have you. Good to have you. Usually I put these in the fridge, but I forgot to, so I'm putting it on ice, but my brain's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna say, where's the vodka? It is. Every time I drink these. It doesn't happen for very long, so, but even to this day, 7 years later, yeah. Cheers. Salud. I don't know anymore. Off the top of my head. So, this came about, somebody was saying something in the meeting, and it kind of reminded me of, because I know that you guys see me as a pretty outspoken person, but I've not always been this way. By nature, I'm a very shy person. Most Virgos are. Unless we're passionate about something, then we tend to speak up. But if I was going to live any life at all, I had to start learning how to speak up for myself, because other people don't do it for you. And you have to learn how to advocate. But let's go back. Why is this my fear? And I know that it's my biggest fear, and I still have it to this day. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. It's the name my grandmother gave me. And if you mess with my grandmother, I may hurt you. She would just laugh at you. If you're here, please say hello. I miss my grandma. Boa tarde. I know I'm probably saying it totally wrong. Oh, Patricia's kind of been teaching you inadvertently. Learning Portuguese by osmosis here. I know I'm going to say it wrong, but boa tarde. Okay. So, when I was young, when I was 13, my mom had quit drinking. I'm going to make the beginning of this short. She got sober. And I was just starting my drinking career. I was happy that my mom got sober. She did not look good, right? But my mom was newly sober. The man that was raising me, he had no idea. But I got a little out of control. I didn't know how else to express myself, because when I would try to talk to them, they didn't really listen. They're like, Dion, why are you so angry? And I sat down and I told them why. I told them why I was angry, and that I was still going to be angry for quite some time. And what they were doing was unfair, and I didn't like it. And a week later, they put me away. Okay. See, this plan was already in action, but in my head, because I spoke my actual feelings, they took my freedom. Okay. They'd already been grounding me for years. I haven't celebrated Halloween as a kid since I was 11. because I was always grounded. I was in trouble. I was always in trouble. I did a lot of weed pulling, you know, built fences, planted trees. Now I drive by, I see those trees and they're growing. I'm like, oh, I planted that tree. I did that when I was 10. Yeah, our parents were around to help you look for things and do things. We were on our own. All right. So what they do, they took away everything from me. All of it. Okay. And from that point on, it would be from that point on, I would have a problem if you try and take my freedom. Okay. Now, why was this coming up? The insanity of the disease. That's why this is coming up. Right? See, I was drinking and I know certain things. I know that you can put somebody on a 72-hour hold. I know there's things that you can do to hold people against their will, and I'm just not for it. Okay? So growing up, I had a fear of telling people how I actually felt, especially people of trust, therapist, a counselor, a social worker, any of these people. I did not trust them. I didn't. And to this day, I still have a problem with it, especially when it comes to family support registry. You know, they act like they act. You know what family support registry is? It's a collection agency. Well, that's it. That's it. They're a collection agency. They've done nothing to improve the quality of my life between me and my children. Now, they've made it worse. Right? So when people are out there and they don't want to say things because of fear, I get it, man. I understand. Because that fear is valid. Okay? You try and come along and take my freedom away for being who I am, you're going to have a fight on your hands. Okay? And by fight, I mean a physical fight. You're going to have a fight on your hands because I will do anything to escape. That's what my brain does. Right? And I could go into little situations and things like that. But the main thing was I want you to understand that I have that fear also. I have that fear of sharing too much. I have the fear of letting people actually know who I am all the way sometimes because I don't know how they're going to react to the actual Dion. You know, I come on here and, I'm kind of an open book, but I don't get as personal as you think. These are things that I'll talk about on the daily, but there are things that go on with me that are just between me and my therapist, man. And they've got to stay there. Okay. I remember my mom was dropping me off, and this doesn't really have anything to do. It's just kind of funny. She was dropping me off from I think I had a weekend pass or something. And I turned to her, I said, Mom, you better remember that when you get older, out of all the kids, I'm probably going to be the one that's going to be taking care of you. So you best watch how you treat me. And she made me promise that I wouldn't put her away. I promised to. I'm not going to do that. So it also makes it very hard. Like when I worked at Detox, it was hard because some of these people wanted to go out and smoke, and I wanted to let them. Right? Well, what was I going to do? Lose my $16.50 an hour job? I worked days, so I couldn't get away with it. If I'd been working nights, I probably would have done it. And then they would have reprimanded me, and I would have said, okay. And I would have done it again. Because sometimes you get in those places, and then there are people in there that are working there that think it's okay to start bossing people around and doing whatever the hell they think is necessary. Right? Here, I want you to know the biggest fight among the staff at the Detox I was working at whether or not the clients could have Netflix. That was the biggest fight. And I tore that staff room up. I'm like, come on, guys. You're kidding me. Let them have Netflix. And guess what? They won't be up your ass all the time. See, the experience of somebody who's been in detox 22 times, I'm going to tell you exactly how they're going to act next, just by doing what you're doing, right? Right? Who wants to be in a situation where they're dependent upon other people for freedom? Okay. That's why I didn't go to treatment. No way that you're putting me away for 28 days. It's not going to happen. I will run. I mean, I'm a professional. $16.50. Now, I'm not sure what the minimum wage here is. I think that's about close to what it is. But I'm 53 years old, man. $16.50. I used to make that when I was in my 20s. So $16.50 an hour sounds like a, man, I had some bad jokes that went through my head. I'm not gonna. So I think we should be paid closer to 30. And I think it still falls short. But that's another topic. But it's good that we understand that stuff, Ingrid, that, because the cost of living here, I bet, is a lot more than the cost of living there, right? We live in a 5-bedroom house. We're paying $2,000 a month, and that is a steal. That's a steal here. So anyway, so, even to this day, my biggest fear still is being put away. Now, when I was drinking, and I've mentioned this before, I'm not sure if I've said it here, but when I was drinking, if I was dating somebody, I would tell them, I know I'm an alcoholic, and if you try and stop me, I will break up with you. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Why? Okay. Because even when I was drinking, I was still a mommy's boy. Okay. I was still a mama's boy. Okay. Well, if you call my mom and my stepdad, okay, I fear my stepdad when I'm drinking. When I'm not drinking, I don't fear him. Okay? Because he can stare right through me, and I can feel it. I was so uncomfortable around him when I was drinking, which is a good thing, right? But they had the power to put me away, and I knew that. And I knew that they would try and utilize it. And that's why. Because you were threatening my freedom. And nothing is going to stand in it. I don't care who you are. I will remove you to get to my freedom. Right? Now, that isn't a great way to live. It isn't. And I find that's why therapy is really important. I don't, she doesn't judge me. She doesn't, and, I'm different because I'm just so easy to talk to. My therapists end up talking to me and things like, and, we form a friendship, and I do consider my therapist a friend of mine. And if somebody fucks with her, gonna have to mess with me too. So then it carries on. When I see dogs in shelters, it fucks me up. It messes me up, man. It is so hard for me to see animals in cages. It drives me crazy. On a leash in the backyard drives me crazy. Okay? Homeless, it drives me crazy because they are not getting what I have. That's why. A roof over my head. People who care. right? So, what is the program all about? I mean, isn't it about freedom? Mm-hmm. It sure is. See, today's reading was, we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Okay? And there were people that talked on it today and they were just talking about shutting the door on it. Okay? Now, what it comes down to is, do I still feel bad for some of the things I've done in the past? You bet your ass I do. Okay? That is not regret. That's not regret. Regret is you won't talk about it. That's regret. It means that even if it will help somebody else, you don't bring it up. That is regret. Okay? Feeling bad for what you've done is not the same. That's a bad feeling for a situation. But when it comes to regret, that is something entirely different, right? Absolutely, freedom from drinking. That's the first freedom that we get in the program, right? The freedom that now I can tell my story and they won't put me away. That's another huge freedom for me. Yeah. But the thing is when we start, the new thing is toxic, which I think is stupid. Okay. The word toxic has become toxic. Does that make sense? If you call other people toxic, then what are you? What am I when I call somebody else toxic? Toxic. I'm doing the same damn thing. It's just name calling. It's name calling. We don't need to do that. Okay? We can take a look at different. Let's take a look at narcissism. Okay? Are alcoholics narcissists? No. Do we have narcissistic traits? Yep. Oh, yeah, we got a bunch of them, don't we? But we can change, huh? So when we run around saying narcissist that and narcissist this, did you know that they can change? I did. We did. Didn't we change? People can change. Yes, even people. And it's a mental illness. What does that mean? That means it is beyond their control. Just like drinking. Yeah. So quit running around telling people that they're toxic. Quit saying they're narcissistic. You're not a psychologist, and you cannot deem that upon anybody else. Name calling. Okay. Calling people crazy gets them locked up. You think Salem witch trials are over? No, it's still happening. It's still happening. Okay. Not done with my V8. So we can really understand that when somebody comes into a meeting and they say, my name is Dion and I'm an alcoholic, what do you think they're thinking beyond that? Well, what's going to happen to me? Are these people going to go tell somebody else and therefore, because that's what happened to me before. We did a prevention before and they tried to put me away, but thankfully I got out of that. We don't know what's going on. All right. All right. That's good. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I do. Hope you have a great night. I hope your teams win. Yay, football. Broncos are out of the playoffs. Great for me. I don't mind. I don't want to watch them get their asses beat in the playoffs. So I'm good. I love y'all. Peace out.